I said, I want to remind everybody next week we've got our Thanksgiving special. So if you are, nobody's going shopping on Friday. Everybody's in social isolation. So if you've got nothing better to do, come after your big fat Thanksgiving meal and sit down with some leftovers on Friday and hang out with us. We're going to do a special Thanksgiving show, just like we did with Halloween. So it'll be fun. So come join us and go spread the word. Tell your friends. It'll be fun. With that said, I wanted to real briefly talk about, you know, as I said, why we're all here. If you were here last week, you heard an incredible speech. Janie gave her icebreaker. It took Janie for a little, we've known Janie for a while. She's a longtime member. It took her a while to get up to a place where she felt comfortable and ready. And the reason why it's so difficult to get on stage is because what we're asking everyone to do here in particular is to be personal, is to be vulnerable, is to take off all the makeup that we are wearing every day when we interact with people. When I say makeup, for those of you who are longtime members, you know what I'm referring to. There is the makeup that we all have to wear that we want other people to feel good about us. If we showed the real us, most of the time, much of the time, there wouldn't be anybody who would want to hang around us. And so we have to put on makeup. We have to smile. We have to tell folks, how are you? It's a great day. All those things we have to do. And that's the hard part because everyone's doing it. And we do it so freely and naturally that we're dying for authenticity now. And so what really connects us is when people are vulnerable and people are authentic and they're real. And that was Janie's speech last week. It was, English is not her first language. And so it had to come less from what she said to how she said it. And she said it in such an authentic, vulnerable way that it was one of the best speeches I've ever heard. So that's why we're here, I think, is to hear speeches like that. And they're speeches where everyone is taking off the makeup. And that's the hard part, right? You're trying to speak to a bunch of strangers, to a big audience around the world and give them the real deal, who you really are. And that's the tightrope. So that's why we're here. That's why we do table topics. So I don't know if the table topics list is full, but get your name on the list. Get up there and do this. This is why you're here and you paid all your hard-earned dollars to be a member. So with that being said, let's get into our show. We've got a speaker tonight who is also a longtime member. I always love hearing him speak. Eliseo, are you there? Can we get you on screen?
I'm here, Henry.
Eliseo, my friend, good to see you.
Likewise, good to see you too, Henry.
For those of you who don't know Eliseo, he is a guy that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Eliseo, but kind of day one when you walked into this club, you're like, oh, I get this. I'm down with this.
Oh, you give me too much credit, Henry. I wish I could say that. Thank you, though.
Well, you're somebody that understands the number one rule of this, which is you get out of it what you put into it. It is as simple as that. I always equate this to being people who like working out and fitness people. Anybody that works out knows that if you don't get off the couch, you're not going to get any more fit. And so you must go to the gym, you must take a walk, you must do these things in order to get the things you want. You got to get stronger, you got to do those things. And this is the same thing. And in fact, I happen to think it is the most important thing, the greatest skill. In many ways, more important than health, because if we can't communicate with people, express ourselves, I'm not sure what the point is. So I think also I view you as somebody that's always kind of been that person that says, I get this. Whatever what I got to put in, I'm going to get out.
Thank you.
And with that said, for those of you who don't know, Eliseo is also running for office. So I'll let him describe how much he's doing and all those things if he chooses. But that's where he's at. Is he's so committed to being able to express himself. He wants to take it to the pinnacle, which is to be a politician, somebody who can express it on all of our behalfs.
Yeah.
So with that said, um, we've got you for the, oh, this is your icebreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, you've done an icebreaker before, haven't you?
I have, but I don't.
You did the
for the
in-person
sake
icebreaker.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's a nice little segue. Before I let you take it away, Eliseo, um, we are coming up with a new curriculum here for us, and we're gonna also allow people to redo icebreakers and all that stuff. So if you want to go back and redo speeches and stuff like that in the audience, feel free. So Eliseo is doing another icebreaker, but he's an old hand at this. So with that said, Eliseo, I'll let you take it away. You know the deal. You got 4 minutes on the clock. It's all yours.
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. My name is Eliseo Labayen, and today I'm giving you my icebreaker. Now, as Henry mentioned before, I've given an icebreaker to a different group of people, but I'm more than happy to do it again as this is a new group for me. And I'm happy to share a whole array of stories that share or show different parts of my personality and who I am as a person. But for the sake of planting my flag in the ground, I'm going to do politics, and then I promise I'm going to move on in the future. So specifically, when it comes to politics, I want to share a new appreciation that I discovered, and I shared it with my mother because I think sharing it with anyone else it'd make me look really weird. So I'll just share with you guys my new respect and appreciation for politicians. And hear me out, let me explain why. Running for office in and of itself, as I've discovered, is its own baptism by fire. I've discovered that you have to always be on your toes. You have to be creative. You have to be aggressive and unyielding at times. You have to have an incredibly thick skin. People that you know, people that you don't know will attack your character or the character of your friends and your family. It is a constant pressure that will be there right before you sleep, and it will meet you right as you wake up. It's not a part-time job. And if I could share one fundamental aspect that I've learned knocking on doors that I think could get a little personal, it's knocking on doors. Okay, no matter what anyone says, that is the crux of a successful political campaign. And to be honest with you guys, at the beginning, I was terrified of knocking on a door. I thought that I would get angry dogs, people with guns, who knows what. You're talking politics here. It's something you're not supposed to talk about with strangers. And on top of that, you have to convince these people to give you money and to give you votes. And luckily for me, I've only had a few angry dogs meet me at the door. I've only had a few angry Trump supporters chase me off their property. And I've had my fair share of people say that they thought I was a Mormon and they don't want to answer the door. But I'll tell you guys what, when it comes to making people want to join you in this process, it is a humbling experience that, again, reflects on my respect for politicians. Running a campaign is an extension of yourself that you want people to take a part in. And through that process, at least for me, I've gotten to speak to mom and pop shops that feel like they've been left behind, homeowners that feel that they've been ignored because they're on the wrong side of the block. As I've said before, I've had people shout me off their lawn, but I've also had people bless me right at their doorstep. It is a really humbling experience, and I'm thankful for it. And again, for all the politicians that have fallen prey to corruption, I hold out hope that they remember that very idealism that led them to run for office in the first place. Now, if I could give you guys a quick update, I've knocked on something like 2,000 doors so far, but I read once somewhere that Beto O'Rourke, when he ran for Congress, knocked on something like 20,000 doors before he won his race, and it was still a close race. So I still got my work cut out for me. And that being said, guys, I want to end on a note here that I would be remiss if I didn't. And that is something that every political campaign must do. And it is also to make the pitch. So for you guys, I'm going to put my website in the chat. I would encourage you guys to read what I'm trying to do for the 4 communities in Central Queens. There's a lot of information out there. And for the New Yorkers in particular that like what they see, I would ask that you consider donating whatever you could to help our cause. And to be general about it, I got plans for transportation, infrastructure, the elderly, mental health, climate change, gender equity, affordable housing, you name it. But on that point, I want to thank you guys so much for hearing out my icebreaker. I promise I won't talk politics as long as I'm here, but I just want to make that clear. Thank you all so much.
Eliseo, you got my vote. Great job. And I tell you what, I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of what this all represents, which is the ability to go knock on strangers' doors. Right? That power to be able to say, I am confident enough that I can go talk to anybody. And that's a real power. That's why I think politicians are politicians, is they get enamored of that power. That they feel like they can go talk to anybody. But of course, the problem is, as we all know today, it's hard to talk to everybody because you've got the people on the right and the people on the left. And so knocking on doors becomes even more terrifying because you don't know who's on the other side of that door. But I believe every door is openable and every person is reachable. That's what I believe. And I believe that happens through a place like this, where people are confronting their fear. Because I believe it's the fear that doesn't allow us to open those doors. So you have my votes. I look forward to hearing more speeches and all the things that you are capable of doing and want to tell us about. But at the end of the day, as I said last time, Eliseo, what we ultimately vote for are people that we like. And so you are a very likable person. And I think that's also part of what we're doing here is we are learning in many ways how to be likable, entertaining, inspiring. Right? The Toastmasters pledge, speech 10, is to tell us how to inspire people, the ultimate goal. Right? The transcendence of a politician being somebody that says, give me your vote, to being somebody that says, we want to follow you. That's the transcendence of speech number 10. So everyone get in the speeches. I know that we have lots of slots that are open that people are not filling out. It is easier for us if everybody signs up early. So sign up for table topics tonight and also get your name in for these speeches. Let's get these slots filled in. Okay, so with that said, Eliseo, great job. It's time for him to give, time for us to give him evaluations. So Rob, would you mind in the chat putting the evaluation link for Eliseo? And Eliseo, you'll get your personal self-evaluation link as well on that. And we'll listen to some Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think is your favorite song. So 2 minutes on the clock for Eliseo's evaluation, please. Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have our evaluator for Jorge, and that's gonna. I'm sorry for Eliseo. It's gonna be Jorge. And sorry about the profiles there. We're having some technical issues on that, but we'll get that fixed for next week. But if we can, we get Jorge on the screen with us. Jorge, hello.
Hello, Henry.
Good to see you. Also a longtime member with us. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Well, as you know, Jorge, you know the drill for evaluations. I also do want to point out to folks the roles are also always open in addition to the speeches as well. And for the evaluator role, in many ways, I view that as the most difficult role of all, because what the evaluator needs to do is to provide, first and foremost, inspiration to the speaker to continue speaking, but also to provide valuable criticism and feedback. So it's a balancing act between making sure that you give positive, constructive feedback that is uplifting, but also just not something that has no constructive criticism along with it. So with that said, you've got 2 minutes for Jorge. Let's see, or for Eliseo. Sorry about that. Let's get Eliseo on the screen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let you take it away for 2 minutes, and Eliseo, you'll be on the screen at the end of Jorge's evaluation. So just be aware of that, Eliseo. Take it away, Jorge. 2 minutes.
Today I have the role of the evaluator for Eliseo's speech. And as Henry mentioned, my responsibility is to praise and encourage the speakers to keep improving and keep getting better by highlighting a couple of things that I liked and maybe something that they can add to the speech so it can get or be even better. Many of you might be surprised or what do you call awed about the speech. I wasn't expecting to see such a sharp speech. So I'm gonna tell you three things that I like. Confidence. Wow. The eye contact with the camera in this case. Wow, amazing. The next thing that I liked is the content, and you mixed it up with, you know, stories, a little bit of, what everyone knows, but you backed it up with examples, right? And also, I really liked about Eliseo's speech is the storytelling. Again, putting in something real, something personal, like the dogs chasing you at times, right? Also, some people getting mad at you because you were there, right? That's really, really, or that helps us see like the picture, or helps us believe what you're saying is true, right? And to end my report or my evaluation, I was it was really hard to think something that you may want to add for your next speech so it can be better. It's really difficult, but just to say something, I'm going to say maybe you could ask a question like, I don't know, in between, at the beginning, at the end, I don't know. I think it's called rhetorical questions, like, right, to get us more engaged. Okay, so again, excellent speech. I really liked it, also, and good luck on what you're doing for the community and everyone. Thank you, everybody. Back to Henry.
Great job on that, Jorge. Let's see if we can get. Yeah, sorry, we're having some glitches there on our back end, so apologies for that. But great speech great evaluation, Jorge. and look forward to getting you into our speeches as well. And for all you folks out there, this is your chance. Sign up and get yourselves in the roles. We're going to take a quick little break to get ourselves reset for table topics. So get in table topics and sign up for those speeches. We'll see you as soon as we reset. Okay. Let's get ourselves into our table topics for the evening. And our table topic master for the evening is going to be Tejaswini. Looks like we've got a full list of speakers, so that's great to see. And as we talked about, Tejaswini's question is our volunteering, our favorite volunteering story. So hopefully you will have lots of volunteering stories. With that said, let's get Tejaswini on the screen with us. Teja, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. How you feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited. That's like a full charge.
Everybody's excited to get on table topics tonight. So yeah, you have your hands full. So I'll let you take it away. Give us like 30 seconds of why you chose the question and all those kinds of things, and let everybody know how table topics works if you would. So I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. So as a Cancerian, caregiving came very naturally to me, and volunteering provides like not just mental satisfaction, but also physical satisfaction. And every time I volunteer for any of the issues, concerns, it just gives me that happiness that without somebody even knowing that you're helping them, you are helping them. And somewhere deep down, that karma is helping you. So I took this opportunity to ask this question because with the current times, everyone needs a helping hand, be it just in terms of speaking to someone, counseling someone, giving financial support, giving emotional support. It's always been so happy to take this forward. So I realized that this would be a great opportunity for me to know a little bit about your life and how you have been helping other people, how you have been helping yourself. Volunteering can be yourself too, but take that as an opportunity and give me the honor to know a little more about yourself. So the topic is what's your favorite volunteering story? And the word of the day is ebullient, which means cheerful, joyful, happiness, anything that gives you a feeling of, of jubilation. And from here, I'm going to jump right into my first speaker. Can I get Jorge on the screen, please? And before I have Jorge, there is only one spot left. It's up for grabs. Whoever gets it is going to be extremely ebullient by sharing their story. So, hello, Jorge. How are you?
Hi, Tash. Good.
Are you excited about the next few days? Thanksgiving is coming up.
Not really, to be honest.
Okay. I hope this next week is going to be ebullient for you so that you're going to give joy to all of us. So, can we have you share your story with us?
Yep. And I think I'm gonna make it really short. My first volunteering experience was with this agency or government organization that I'm still volunteering. But my first time doing it was on this project sorting toys. So it was pretty much separating new toys from old toys and putting them like in bags and everything so they can be sent to schools, nurseries, and stuff like that. That was a 2 hour duration of the project. And by I think in the first 15 minutes, I did not enjoy it at all. But anyway, I still pushed through, finished it. Then I signed up for the for a different project, volunteering, right? And that was English conversation partners with English students. So pretty much immigrants who are trying to learn English, and it's pretty much just help them practice talking, speaking English. And I loved it. Ever since it's gonna be over 2 years. Ever since every week I help them, and I'm not thinking or planning on changing to a different project ever again. So anyway, that is my answer to your question. Thank you, again, everyone. Thank you, Taj. Back to you.
Thank you, Jeneil. That sounds like a fun story. I'm so happy that gave you that sense of satisfaction and you're able to keep it with yourself for the rest of the time. Um, Thank you for your time today. Can we have Rob on the screen, please?
Hey,
Hi, Rob. How are you? Good evening.
I'm good. How are you? I love this topic.
I'm so glad you do. This is like so close to all of us. I would love to hear your story about your volunteering experience.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm on screen yet, but oh, there we are.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I'd like
just
to take it
wanted to
away.
a lot of people that are really in need of extra support and help because of the pandemic, because of all the crazy things that have been going on. So I think volunteering is such an important thing to do. And I never have been much of a volunteer, but now that I have kids, definitely find myself trying to volunteer much more, just to show them and to lead by example for them. And recently during the pandemic, we did a kind of funny, um, sneaky bit of volunteering where we took some of our local businesses that were struggling, and we helped do some advertising and marketing in a sort of graffiti style way, where we made these posters for the local bakery. We made different posters for the bike shop, for other cafes, and we posted them around the neighborhood saying, still open, visit the shop. Um, here are the hours. This bakery has sourdough starter. Please get over there to buy it. And we posted them all around the neighborhood, and it was so great because I brought my son with me, and he was kind of nervous because he was like, "Oh, are we allowed to be doing this?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's just tape this onto the store window." And I was like, "Be the lookout for me and make sure no one comes." So, but it was a lot of fun, and most of these stores in the neighborhood have actually kept up the signs for the last 6-8 months. So it's nice to walk by and see the signs up and all these businesses that are still doing well. So that's my story.
It's also a way of showing them attitude, building rapport. Great story, Rob. Thank you so much. Awesome. Can we have Bruce? Bruce. Bruce, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm not able to read that. Could you please, yeah, put it
I
back
think
a little?
Bruce was having some audio issues, so he
Ah,
wanted to dial in, but I think it's not working. We're sorry about that, Bruce.
I'm so sorry,
We'll
Bruce.
hope to get you next time.
Yeah,
Sorry, Teju.
no worries. Bruce, good to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. We obviously would want to hear you next time. And can we have Chavaun? Hello, Chavaun. Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you?
I am great. Thank you. I had a panic attack today. I thought I had to present my second speech. So I'm feeling great. It's next week.
I am ready to hear your speech. Sure.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. I actually love this table topic only because I was the volunteer queen. When I say the volunteer queen, that was me. Back in the days, my oldest brother, he shared the importance of gaining new skills and experience through volunteering. And he made it very clear. Now, some opportunities may not be paid opportunities, but it's a way for you to learn. And so I'm a lover, a learner, just in general. And I remember ever since that conversation, I would just, if you said volunteer, I was there. It was so, and it tickles me because I remember when I will go to fill out the application and submit my resume, and my resume of volunteer experience used to be at least 4 pages, 4 pages long of volunteer opportunities. One day I went to volunteer for an event company because I love to coordinate and plan. And so it was the Biz Bash event, and I went. And when I was there, I was able to participate in some of these forums that they had, and I was taking in so much information. So I was just so excited just to be there, doing what I love, meeting new people, networking. I had this one vendor who was watching me as I was helping other people out, and she said, "Hey, kiddo, come over here." I was like, "Me?" So I went over and she said, "Could you help me pack up some stuff?" And I said, "Sure." I was always excited. So my point is, the reason why I'm smiling right now so much is because by me going and volunteering led to another opportunity. She actually offered me a job the next week to come work with her, and it made a difference. So I say this to say, never underestimate a volunteer opportunity. You never know where that opportunity may lead to. Thank you.
You know what's so he was smiling before he even started talking. That just shows the joy that came from when you the opportunity. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Amazing
Thank
story.
you.
Awesome. Can we have Leah on the screen, please? Hi, Leah.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. How are
I'm
you?
good. I'm excited about this topic.
I am so happy that you're here. Can we have your volunteering story, please?
All right, so I think my previous volunteer story is actually my first time volunteering. I was not really volunteering. So back in high school, when I was in France, we had an exchange program with an Irish school. And so basically, when the student came to France, they had to follow our schedule. And when we went to Ireland for 2 weeks, we had to follow the student schedule. And so
I
this girl that
believe.
I was paired up with, a few times a week, she used to volunteer for this group for children who had severe developmental disabilities. And when I showed up and she told me that we would be doing that afternoon, I freaked out. I was so afraid, not because of the kids, but because I was afraid that I would mess up. I was afraid that I would say the wrong thing. I was afraid that I would not be able to take care of them properly. Basically, I was dreading the moment we would get there, and I was not very ebullient about it. And the moment we showed up there, I realized I was so stupid for being afraid. It was just a bunch of kids wanting to be kids, and we played for a few hours. We laughed. It was a really sweet moment, and we went back a few times over the 2 weeks that I was there. And it taught me a few things. First of all, stop being so afraid of new situations. Second of all, trust people that get you out of your comfort zone. And also, in these types of situations, if you show up with a good heart, with good intentions, with a smile, and most important, you listen to people's needs, there's few chances that you can mess up. So, yeah, that was a good moment for me.
Just as a reminder, the word of the day is resilient, which is cheerful, joyful, enthusiastic, Sean? Hi,
Hey,
Sean.
I'm here.
Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good.
So, Sean, what's your favorite volunteering stories?
Yeah, so, okay, so I guess I would start off by saying, prior to 2020, I never, thought that I had time for volunteering at all. But if there is a silver lining to this whole pan, pandemic, is that it's forced me to reevaluate the time, that I have. And this is a time where a lot of people in the city, tend to volunteer their time. But I actually started my very first volunteering gig, earlier this summer, and it's been an extremely rewarding process. So those of you, who have come to our in-person meetings before, I actually go to Bread's Bakery on 16th Street. I pick up all of the leftover food. I go down to Bowery and I drop off the food at a food bank, and I do that every single Wednesday. And it's been, and it's been an extremely rewarding experience for me. And I think if COVID, hadn't happened, I don't think I would have ever stumbled upon this opportunity. So it's something that I've enjoyed so far, and I look forward to continuing moving forward. Thank you.
Great story. Can we have Anton in this room, please? Hello, Anton.
Hello.
How are you? Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Greetings from New York to the other side of the world.
I'm not sure the other side, but yes.
Cross border. Antoine, what's your favorite volunteering story? And the word of the day is ebullient.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. I've listened to some fantastic volunteering stories here, and I'm ashamed to say mine is very much different. It's self-serving. It was a time I was invited to be security at a Grand Prix, a Formula One race. I was fortunate to be stationed not in the pits, but just next to the pits, actually at the bottom end of the pits, where all the noises and where I was, I could actually see what was happening. Some in the part of the pits, but what happened behind the pits, the things that we don't see, where all the people gather, all the trucks are, all the mechanics come out when they're not working. That was so interesting to me. They have fantastic barbecues there. They treat themselves well. Why do I know this? Because they shared some with me. They shared their food with me. Some of the pops and things we as security personnel were able to get it from there. I was there both the Saturday and Sunday for the race itself. But the Saturday evening, we were there from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And they actually took some of the cars out in dusk. And as they come around that sharp corner before they would either come into the pits or go down that long straight, and at the bottom of the straight, there was a bend. You would see those brakes glowing red hot in the dusk. It was an amazing day there. It was an amazing time. It really, I'm a Formula One fan. I always will be. And that day really was something fantastic. The race itself was a race, but that Saturday, being in that spot, looking at what happens there, just being part of it, even though it was by osmosis type of thing, the ebulliency, this whole spirit of camaraderie over there was something to really to live through. That was my most favorite volunteering experience. Madam Table Topics Master.
Am I audible? Thank you so much, Anton. Can we have Annie on the screen, please? Hello, Annie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. Are you excited?
I am. This is a great topic, really, for this time of year, and especially in a year like this. I think it's a terrific topic. So thank you for choosing it.
I would love to hear that, and I will give the stage to you.
I'm going to talk about the volunteer this opportunity I did a couple of years ago. It was special to me, really, because it was just very personally rewarding. I don't know how much I actually helped people, but a lot of you, especially in New York, probably know REI, and they're sort of an outdoorsy supply company, and they were sponsoring a cleanup project in Prospect Park. And it had been a long time since I'd done anything close to yard work living in the city, so it sounded sort of interesting and a good way to get out and get some fresh air. And so we met up early in the morning in the middle of Prospect Park, and they drove dump trucks full of mulch up to us, and then we all sort of realized what we were getting ourselves into. So we ended up, it was a lot of heavy lifting, pulling out weeds from these sort of off the road unbeaten paths, and moving big sticks that had fallen over the course of the year, and doling out about 20 shovels, and everybody takes the shovel and just sort of spread out their mulch over about 200 yards of path. And it was exhausting, and it was sweaty, but it was a beautiful day, and it was a lot of fun. And I got to, as you said, volunteer opportunities are a great way to meet people. I got to meet some really fun other New Yorkers, and I got to see a toad, which I didn't know toads lived in Prospect Park, but they do. And about 2 weeks later, I was able to return and actually got to see people treading on this new path, freshly renovated path, without the risk of falling. And they probably had no idea what went into the cleanup, but I was able to see the improvement, and it was just a very special, rewarding experience. And I was happy to be able to participate.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your story. Can we have Jeneil on the stage? Hi, Jeneil.
Hey, Teju. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh.
How ebullient are you about this topic and the week ahead?
Extremely on both counts, as I'm sure you know.
I'm going to give you the stage, and please share your favorite volunteering story with us.
Okay. This is such an excellent topic. Thank you so much, Teju. I is, because volunteering really is one of my favorite things. And I'm grateful to my parents and my life experiences for really giving me this passion for volunteering. I have volunteered in many places around the world, but my favorite story that comes to mind right now is when I was in graduate school in Nanjing in China. I was the class president for the second semester, and so I organized educational and volunteer events for the students who were studying there on the campus in China. And one day and I hope someone is timing me, by the way, because I'm not timing me. I'll start right now since I'm the timer. So one day I was just out walking on the street in China and ran into a woman who was chasing this little dog. And I asked her what she was doing, and she said, "Well, I'm trying to catch this dog and reunite him with his owners, because in China there is a custom of eating dog. And what will happen is sometimes dogs become strays, and then people who will sell them to restaurants, they take those animals who were people's pets at one point, and it's not, it's not very good." So she said, there's actually a shelter for these pets in the province next door. And so we exchanged contact information. I was thinking this could be a really great event for my students. And so I ended up contacting them. We took a bus out there. We were splitting up sausages and baozi, which are like these Chinese dumplings, to feed the dogs when we arrived. And when we got there, I mean, it was one of the saddest things I've ever seen. But at the same time, I was so ebullient to be there. It was this huge pen full of nearly 500 dogs, and then a neighboring pen sheltering 400 cats. And they were all people's lost pets who hadn't been reclaimed. So I love spending that day with them, and I hope all those animals are able to find a home again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then so we have Alex. Alex is next. Good evening, Alex. How are you?
I'm very well, Madam Topics Master Teju. How are you?
I am very well. Thank you
I'm
so
glad
much.
to hear that.
This is the time for volunteering, and we would like to know what your favorite volunteering story is.
Yes, volunteering, what a great question. Fortunately, the internet tends to be very spotty. But I want to let you know, in my view, that volunteerism is ebullient altruism. And when we volunteer, we spread compassion all over the place, almost like gold dust. I've volunteered in various roles. I've volunteered as a translator, as a cook, as a chaperone. But I'd like to maybe discuss with you or let you know a little bit about my time as a cook. As a cook, you can maybe see from my portliness that I love to eat, but I also love to cook. And this was kind of a religious camp kind of thing and I'm religious, but in my own way. So, but I feel that compassion and altruism, these are religious ideals. At least they're my religious ideals. Somebody said, "What religion are you?" And I say, kindness. Anyway, unfortunately, my internet connection seems to be spotty. I don't know if I'm on time. So I'm going to go until somebody just basically cuts me off. I had a wonderful time as a cook. I spent hours and hours and hours cooking, hours and hours and hours cleaning, hours and hours and hours sweeping. My arms were so tired, and my shoulders were an ache. But at the end of it all, I had an ebullient experience. And I want to thank you so much, Madam Topics Master, for that. And I want to hand it back to you.
We were able to share your story, and that just gives us your story. Thank so much, Alice. May I have Dr. D on the stage, please? Dr. D, good evening. How are you? I believe you're on mute.
Okay. Now
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, fabulous. This is a wonderful topic.
Thank
And
you.
I wish I had more time to do it, but I'll give you as fast as I can all that I know.
Thank you. The stage is all yours.
I ever started volunteering is when someone told me that Marble Collegiate Church had a line called Helpline, and it was a telephone line that anyone could call for any help they needed from anywhere in the world. So I said, hey, wait, I want to do that. And I joined Helpline. Well, I was there for maybe 15 years and I became a trainer. And the biggest thing I learned there was active listening. And just so you know, active listening works so well that when I did family therapy as an intern, I was taken to someone's home, and all I knew then was to listen actively. I didn't know anything else about family therapy. And at the end of the call, the social worker who took me there ran with me to the elevator, fell on my shoulders, and burst into tears. She said that was the very first time she ever saw a breakthrough in that family. Well, what I'm saying is that volunteering can turn, not can, it helps you. It's not just that you give, but you get so much more out of it. And now the volunteering I do is called Careline, and we're trying to follow on to Helpline, which ran out of money before. So if you ever heard of Careline, or if you haven't heard of Careline, call if you have a problem, and we'll be happy to listen. Listening is what most people need because people are so lonely, and most people are also angry. It's not just COVID that they're angry at, it's a lot more. And the loneliness. So, bless you, and I hope volunteering rewards you the way it rewarded me, and it's still rewarding.
The last of ours. However, I have a request for all of you. Can you all just clap for each other for doing such an amazing job in your own way, in your own work? Because it is such a beautiful world because of people like you, because of people like you who have inspired others to do something better, something that works. And that has also inspired me to share just one small story that I have. I have been volunteering for about 16 years now. I am 31, so 16 years since I've been volunteering. And there was just one event that I did where somebody who had a Down syndrome, I had organized a painting workshop for 5,000 underprivileged children. And one of them came to me, gave me a hug, and said, "Thank you." That's it. I was done. I was the happiest. And that is one story that keeps me going all the time. And I thank you for your time today. And I look forward to being a part of NVL all the time. There's no limitations. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.
Tejaswini, great job on Table Topic Master. Obviously, a very popular question, and I agree with everyone. Right? It's the selfless acts that really make the biggest difference. So, speaking of which, thank you everyone for participating. A selfless job for every one of you who all were involved. With that being said, Tejaswini, it's time for our evaluation of you as well as our vote for best table topic speech. So, Rob, would you mind in the chat putting the link in for our vote for best table topic master? and some feedback for Tejaswini on her job there. And of course, as hopefully you all know, every week you get highlighted as the best table topic speaker out there. So it's a highly coveted vote there. So give us your votes. Okay, with that said, let's get into the end of our show and our roles for the evening. As I said before, we have Jeneil and Annie who are going to be our roles. And so our first role for the night is our timer, Jeneil. And I know that we had a mess up with our Jorge's time, so I'm not sure we have that. But Jeneil, I'll let you take it away if you're there.
Whichever one it was that wasn't recorded, so no worries. So for Eliseo, awesome speech. 425. By the way, your favorite movie is The Matrix, same as Henry. I thought that was very interesting. Secondly, we had Jorge evaluating Eliseo. He came in at 235. Then Jorge was on for table topics at 145. Rob Price clocked in at 2 minutes exactly. Chavaun was 210. Leah was 140. Sean Japal was also 140. Anton, wait, sorry. Anton didn't go. Am I correct?
I think that's right. We had the technical issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, looks.
Anton did. Roosevelt.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was yes. So Anton did go.
And thank you. So Anton was at 2:15. Annie was at 2:15. I was at 2 minutes 30 seconds. Alex was at 1 minute 50 seconds, and Dr. D was at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And D, I loved what everyone said, but I loved hearing about the prayer line. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Jeneil. Great job on that. And it's now time for our timer of the evening. That's going to be Annie. And so we get Annie on the screen, please.
Thanks, Henry. So I took the count of all of the filler words, and it was kind of an amazing night. We had a lot of perfect scores and a lot of very low scores, so good job to everybody. Eliseo, you had no filler words, so it looks like you're ready for office. Jorge, you had one like and one you know. That was during your evaluation, and then during your table topics, another perfect score. Rob, you had 4 uhs or ums and 1 so. Chavaun, 1 or and 1 so. Leah, you had 1 so and you got the word of the day. Sean, you had 2 uhs or ums, 2 likes, and 3 you knows. Anton, you had a perfect score and you got the word of the day. I don't know if I did a great job counting my own, but I know I got at least 1 and at least 1 so. Jeneil, you had a perfect score. Alex, you also had a perfect score, and you got the word of the day not once, but twice. And D, you had the final perfect score of the evening.
Thank you for that, Annie. Great job. And you get double credit for being able to count your own positive comments. That's pretty amazing. And that's also a nice little segue. Look, we're here tonight, as I said, a special episode. This was hands off. I was not in control of anything. And so for me, I was truly able to watch this show, and a couple things that struck me. First is that what we're doing is pretty hard. I'm watching the show and watching the graphics and watching you guys all speak. This stage is as high as we can make it. We're trying to be as professional as possible. And we've had our glitches. There's some things here that didn't quite go right, but we're really close. And I think that's what I'm really feeling, is the fact that we're really close to making this thing feel natural and being able to do it every week so it feels natural. And one of the biggest indicators of that is the and counter. You may not believe it or really truly appreciate or understand why those 2 tools are so important. But those are the tools that allow us to unconsciously know whether we're making progress. If you have lots of ahs and ums, that means you are under stress. That means there's a lot of anxiety going on. You're searching for words. You don't know what to say. But if you're getting more and more comfortable on camera, the ahs and ums start to go away. And the same thing with the timer. You start to get more comfortable with how much time is going by as you're speaking. So when Annie says it was a remarkable night, I kind of felt it too, just as an audience member listening, is that the ahs and ums were not as prevalent and people were more relaxed and natural. So this is the progress we're looking for, all of us. So I want to thank you all for making a commitment to coming back every week. This, as I say, it's like going to the dentist. Nobody wants to go to the dentist. But after you go through the dentist, you're like, glad I did that. And it's the same thing here. It may feel awful while you're doing it, all the nervousness and all the anxiety, but when you're done, hopefully it's that same feeling that brings you back. So with that said, I want to thank you all for a spectacular show. It was an ebullient night. And so let's end this show with one last plea for you all to spread the word about New Voice Live, how incredible this thing is going to become. Get your friends to come next week. Thanksgiving is going to be lots of fun. As I said, what else you got to do? There's nothing going on. So come join us next Friday for another episode of New Voice Live. And stick around for after hours. If anybody's got any questions about where we're headed, wants to join the leadership team and help out all around, volunteering. We need volunteers. So if you are interested in volunteering here, let us know. All right, with that said, we'll see you guys in 7 days for our Thanksgiving special. Have a good week.